In this video, I'll be working on lab number 6 from the Cisco CCNA lab guide, which is a free download available from Flackbox.com. You can get it there. This is lab 6 is entitled Cisco Device Management, and the description says in this lab you'll perform a factory reset, password recovery, configuration backup, and system image backup and recovery on a Cisco router. You will also perform an iOS upgrade on a Cisco switch. It says use packet tracer, and it says the generic server and packet tracer has built-in TFTP server software, and you can view that by clicking on device on packet tracer, going to services, and then TFTP. You'll see that it's on there. So we'll close that and let's get started. So we're going to start with the factory reset. So it wants us to start with router 1, and let's open up the command line. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is show the running configuration. So we can do show, or need to go into global, privilege exec mode, and then issue the show running config command. And you'll see that the host name is configured to R1. And then we hit the tab button, and you can see Gigabit Ethernet 00 has an IP address configured. So we're doing that just to see that there is something there. The next step is going to be factory reset R1 and reboot. So the command of factory reset is write erase, and it's going to warn you, hey, do you really want to do this? Yes, we do in this case. And then we're going to go to reboot. So we need to reboot the device. So let's hit reload. Proceed with reload, hit enter. Let's give that a second. I'll go forward in time so we don't have to wait on it. Pull that up. Would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? No. Skip that. Hit enter. And the router, it says the router should boot up in the setup wizard. Exit out of that. We did. All right, now it's saying paste the configuration for R1 from the Cisco Device Management Config file back into configuration and save. Okay, so that's over. I've got this open here. This is just Notepad. Any text editor will do. Here's a simple configuration file that was created, and you can cut and paste configuration templates and files into your devices. Works on packet tracer and with actual physical devices. So as soon as we hit paste, it went in. It issued the enable command, which brought us into privilege exec mode, then issued the configure terminal command, which brought us into global configuration mode. It set up the host name as R1, set up the interface for Gigabit Ethernet 00, signed an IP address, set duplex and speed to auto, and issued the no shutdown to bring it up. And then the exec timeout command, that's for, say you have your laptop, you're working on a device, you're working on a router or switch or whatever, you're there, and it's lunchtime and you forget to log out when you go to lunch. Well, if you had previously set exec timeout, in this case to 30 minutes 0 seconds, it'll automatically log you out. So that's a security feature. It's always good to enable in case you do walk away and forget that. So we pasted the configuration file and we need to save. So we need to copy run to start, so which is copy running configuration to startup, running config to startup config. Startup config, yes, that's going to be our file name. So next thing is set the enable secret to Flackbox 1 on R1, and to do that we got to go into global configuration mode, so comp T, and we're going to enter the enable secret command. So enable, move this out of the way, secret, and it's supposed to be Flackbox 1, right? Yeah. All right, and now it's saying configure the router to boot into the ROM prompt on the next reload and reboot the router. In a real world scenario, you would enter the break sequence on the keyboard. Okay, so what this is on an actual physical device, you could, I can't remember if it's whatever, it's a combination C or control plus break or something, and you'll break into the sequence, the boot up sequence, and it'll put you in ROM mode. That doesn't work in packet tracer. So to do it in packet tracer, what we have to do is we have to change the configuration register, and you can find the configuration register for your device. So you could do show version. I think that'll show it. Yep, there it is. So here's the default setting, which is 2102. Now, to make this work in Packet Tracer, we have to change that to 2120. And to do that, we got to go, we're in global configuration mode, so we just set config, I think it's config register, and we're going to change that to 0x2120. Okay, that's done. And then we'll hit end, and then we're going to copy run start, copy running config to startup config. And then we should, yes, we want startup config to be the file. And then we're going to reload. Let's see what happens here. Please proceed with reload. Hit confirm. Yes. All right, so we're in the ROM monitor, which is good. Now what we have to do is, the default was, what I say, 2102. We need to change this to 2142 because we want it to ignore the startup config when booting up and reload the router. So to do that, you enter the command confreg, or if I could type confreg reg 0x2142, and the 4 is what changed. It tells it to ignore it, and that's that. And then we'll do a reset, and it'll reboot, and it's asking us, okay, configure the router to ignore the startup. We did. Reload the router. The router should boot into the setup wizard, which it did, so we'll hit no. We don't want that. Hit enter. What do you expect to see? What do you expect to see if you view the running and startup configurations? Well, we issued the command ignore the startup configuration, so the running configuration should be empty, but the startup configuration should still be there. So let's go to privileged exec mode, and let's see if that's right. So show run to show the running configuration, and you can see, remember, it was configured as R1, and now it's just default of router, and then gigabit Ethernet 00. Remember, it had the IP address, it has no IP address assigned. So it's just went with a blank slate basically. And now let's do the show start, and let's see if the information, yeah, see the information's still there. So what we did was we told the router, hey, ignore the startup config, just load up a blank running config basically. It's not really blank, but you know what I mean. And we'll go from there. So let's do that. And what do you expect to see? We confirmed that. Now it says copy the startup config to the running config. Don't miss this step or you will factory reset the router. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So copy run to start. And yes, we want that. Remove the enable secret. And so we have, so like this was like, I think you would do this if you bought like a used device, or you had a device in your network that had been stuck away for ages and nobody remembers what the enable secret password is. I think these are the steps you would take to do this. So to remove the enable secret, we got to go into global configuration mode, so comp T, and you issue the no enable secret command. Okay, so that should be done. And then ensure the router will reboot normally on the next reload, and you will be able to access the router. Well, if you remember, the default register setting was 2102, so we have to tell the router to use that on the next reload. So config register, typing very well today, 0x2102, okay, that should be right. I think that's right. And then copy run to start. Do copy run start because we're not in the right spot. Hit yes. Removed. Okay, reboot the router to confirm. So we'll just hit, we'll hit end, and we'll do reload. Yes. And we'll jump forward in time 30 seconds so we don't have to wait on that. We'll hit enter and reboot the router to confirm. Okay, so enable, show run. Okay, so everything booted up. I guess that's right. I'm not sure. All right, let's keep going. Back up the running configuration to flash on R1. So to do that, let's hit enter here, or tab, or actually Q, just to break out of that. So we're on step 15, back up the running configuration to flash. So we need to, let's do a show flash. And that shows us the files that are in there right now. Okay, there are those. Back up the running config. So we want to copy the running configuration to flash. In the destination file name running config, and right now it's not in there, so we'll hit yes, and then show flash. It should be there then. There it is. Now it's there. So we did that. We backed up the configuration to flash. Use a suitable name for the backup file. Oops. So let's do that again. I should have named it something like, and we'll do like copy run flash, and then for instead of just running config, we could do backup, today's date, and whatever other information matters. So we'll do that. And then show flash again, and then there's the backup that we made. Okay. We're done with that. Verify the configuration has been backed up. Yes, we did. Back up the router 1 startup configuration to the TFTP server. Use a suitable name for the backup file. Verify the configuration has been backed up. So we need to back up the startup config to the TFTP server, which is set up on packet tracer already over here. So that's already set up. So let's do copy and start for startup config and TFTP. Hit enter. Address or name of the remote host. That would be the name of this. That would be the IP address of the server. So 10.10.10.10. Destination file name, and we'll call this backup start config and today's date, whatever that would be. And it's working on it, so we'll give it a minute to do its thing. Pull this back over here. All right, actually we'll do this. I'll jump forward in time so we don't have to wait on that. So it said error opening, it timed out. So I don't know why. Use a suitable name, verify the configuration has been backed up. So let's try it again. Copy start to TFTP. We're on R1. Server is that. Let's hit enter. Address or name of remote host 10.10.10.10. Destination file name, and we're doing the, we'll just call it, we're going to call it backup start today's date. All right, let's see if that works. I'm not sure why it didn't work. It timed out for some reason. I may have made an error. Let's give it a second. We'll go forward in time. Still got an error, but let's see if it's there. Let's go to services, TFTP, and it is not there. It didn't work for some reason. Okay, so it says back up the running config. Okay, I'm going to look at the key, answer key right quick, because that, I don't know why that didn't work. So we're going to go down to 15, and it says file names are case sensitive. Wait, was this right? Reboot the router to ensure the router will normally reboot. Yes. Backup 1. Backup the running configuration to flash. R1, we did that. Verify the configuration has been backed up. we did that. Back up the router to startup configure on TFTP server. Use a suitable name for backup. Verify the configuration has been backed up. So copy, I'm gonna just copy what they put down there. So copy start TFTP, that's what we did. And then the host is 10.10.10.10. Oh, you know what? I wonder, hold on. I see a problem. I don't think this interface is up. So can we break out of that? And let's fast forward in time. I just thought of that. This timed out because it can't reach it. So let's go into R1 and let's go into global configuration mode and let's assign an IP address. No, let's go into interface configuration. So interface, gigabit, Ethernet. Oops, I hit caps lock. 00, and let's assign an IP address of 10.10.10.1 255.255.255.0. All right, and no shut, and that should come live. We'll go move this down a little bit. Spanning tree is still thinking, so let's jump forward in time, and now that's done. Let's go back to router 1, and let's go down to privilege exec mode, and then let's look for the copy start up config to TFTP. There's the command I just used, up arrow. Remote host was 10.10.10.10. The destination file name will be, we'll call it backup startup config today's date. And you know, whatever today's, you would enter that in. Hit enter. Writing startup config. Now let's see if this works. There we go. It worked. So 693 bytes copied. Now it wanted us to confirm that it's there. So let's look at the server and services TFTP, and there's our file. Backup startup config today's date. So that's done. All right. Backup to TFTP, done. So now we want to do an iOS system image backup and recovery. So back up the iOS system image on R1 to the TFTP server. All right, well, let's start here. And on R1, we want to look in Flash. And let's open this up a little bit. There it is, right there. There's the system image file. So it's that one. Back it up to the server. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go down there. And then I'm going to issue the command copy I don't know if I need to do that. Flash TFTP and source file name. So yeah, here we'll paste it. Okay, so it should be that one. And before I do that, I want to look at the TFTP server. Go to services TFTP, and there's no. Let's see, what was the name of it again? It was C2900. Is it backed up here? No, there's no C2900. Okay, so let's hit enter. Address name or name of remote host. So that was 10.10.10.10. That's our TFTP server. That'll be the file name. Yes, go with that. Give it a moment to copy everything. Okay, the bytes are copied. Let's go back to the server. Let's go to TFTP, and we're looking for a file starting with C2900, and there it is. Okay, so it backed up. That worked. Scoot this over. Delete the system image from Flash and reload. So we're going to go and we're going to hit, let's do show Flash, and we're going to delete the system image. So copy, and then we go back down here and we're going to do delete Flash, and then we'll want to paste that file name that we just did. That should be everything. Delete file name, yes. And it's double checking with you. Are you sure? Yeah, we're sure. So that should be done. So now reload. Let's reload. All right, system configuration has been modified. I don't know the answer to that. Let me look at the answer key right quick because I'm not sure about that. For the system unable to boot, it doesn't really say. I'm going to just choose no. See what happens. Proceed with reload. Yep. All right. So the system is unable to boot automatically. The boot environment variable needs to be set to a bootable image. We're at ROM 1. Use internet search to find system recovery instructions for your model router. Okay, recover the system image using the TFTP server. Okay, so yeah. So what you will want to do is you'll take your device name, and so we have, where are we? Here we go. So you have the device name here, and it's a C2900. Okay, and so you'll go, in the real world, you would go to the internet, you would search for, what was it? Recover ROM C2900, something like that. Anyway, it'll bring you to a page like this, and use the internet search, recover the system image using the TFTP server. So these are the steps that you have to go through to recover it. So let's start doing this. So we'll go back to packet tracer, which is here. I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I'm going to shrink it down just a bit so we can walk through this. So we're going to pull up router 1, and we're going to go through the steps. So it looks like primarily we just need to do the highlighted ones, the ones that are in bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8. So let's start that. Make sure the cap lock is on because you need it to be all caps, just like it's shown. IP address equals, the IP address is going to be the IP address of the router, so 10.10.10.1, enter. And then we want IP, caps again, IP underscore subnet mask, and that's going to equal 255.255.255.0. And then we're going to have default gateway, and that's going to be the router again. So 10.10.10.1. All right, and then we're going to do the, we need to add the TFTP server. So let's do that, TFTP underscore server, and its IP address. So that'll be 10.10.10.10, right? Yeah, 10.10.10.10. And then we're going to need the file. We need the file name. So let's do TFTP, move this out of the way, underscore file, and that'll equal, I wonder if I just hit paste, if the file name's still saved in memory. Yes, it is. Cool. So that'll be the file name. Yeah, because that's the same one. So hit enter. And then we're going to want the destination. We got the file. We need the destination because we need to tell it where to go. So TFTP, underscore destination. And that's going to equal, the destination is just going to be flash. Flash. That should be right. And then the timeout, I don't know. I mean, we'll do it as a couple minutes. I don't know what the timeout's supposed to be. TFTP underscore timeout, and that's going to equal 120 because we'll do 2 minutes. And then the download, we need to have the download too, which there it is. Oh, I see it. Okay, so this time it's lowercase, so TFTP download, and I don't think you have to put anything else, just hit enter. Yeah. Invoke this command for disaster recovery only. All existing data in the partitions on flash will be lost. Do you wish to continue? Sure, why not? Let's go crazy. And we'll hit yes and see what happens. So we'll go back to packet tracer. We'll speed things up. So it said operation terminated. let's move this back over here. User cert. If you're using the latest version of Pack Tracer, okay, the download will time out because the interface stays down in ROM mode. Okay, so there's not a lot we could do. You have completed this part of the lab once you've entered the TFTP download command. Okay, well, we did that. So we'll close that. So now we need to go to the iOS image upgrade. So we need to verify that switch 1 is running the C2960 software, so we can do that. So pull that up and go to the command line and hit, click on this, hit enter. And we can do that by show version, I believe. And open this up. And we want to confirm that it is running C2960 software, LAN base M. Let's look for that. Show version. Yep, there it is. C2960 LAN base M. So we confirmed that. Let's hit Q to exit out of there. And now it's asking us to use the TFTP server to upgrade to C2960 LAN base K9, MZ, etc. So to do that, we need to pull the file from use the TFTP server to upgrade it. Don't we need to just pull the file? I'm going to see something. Well, I'm going to look at the answer key for this one again because I'm a little thrown off by that. So we did all that. We did that. Yeah, okay. So you just copy it. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So we're at the switch and use the TFTP server to upgrade. So you just copy TFTP flash. And as you can see, a lot of times I still have to use the answer key. It's good to have it. That's one of the things I like about the Flackbox course. But at the same time, always try to walk through it, even struggle through it a lot to get there. But on a video, I don't want to struggle for a half an hour on something that'll just bore you to death. So we should be able to just go with copy TFTP flash. We're going to go back over to this way. And invalid, oh, I'm in the wrong mode. So copy, move this out of the way, TP flash. Try again. Flash. Okay, address name or name of remote host. So that's the TFTP server at 10.10.10. Oops, 10.10. I'm not typing well today. The source file name is going to be this. So we have to be careful that we keep everything right. C2960 LAN base K9 MZ dot 150-2 dot capital SE4 dot bin. That should be it. Destination file name. Yes, that's right. It's the same thing we just typed in here. Hit enter. And it's accessing the TFTP server, looking for that file. Said error opening. Maybe I made a mistake in the file name. Let's do this. Let's go to the TFTP server. And we're going to go to services, TFTP. And we're going to just look for the file that it should be. C2960 LAN base. C2960 LAN base K9 MZ 152 SE4. So that, I wonder if I can copy that. Did I make a mistake in typing it? C2960 LAN base K9 MZ dot 150-2 dot SE4 dot bin. I don't know why that didn't work. That is the file name. Was I in the right place? Yeah. So it should just be copy TFTP to flash. Let me do a show flash right quick. No, there's, well, what's that? No, that's the old one, it looks like, because this is LAN base -MZ and we want LAN base K9. So I'm going to try that again. We're going to go and we're going to copy TFTP flash The address of the remote host, well, that is 10.10.10.10, 10.10.10.10, and the source file name, I do believe I wrote that right, so I'm just going to copy this and scroll down, we'll paste that. And destination file name, yes. It's saying error opening 10.10.10 C2960, no such file name. So let's look at that right quick. Pull this up, pull services, and let's look for a file named C2960. C2960 land-based K9 C2960-LANBASE K9-MZ.150-2.SE4.bin. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't work. That's kind of a mystery. Does it say anything in the answer key? It says copy. We did the right remote host. The source file name was right. Let's try. Let me do something. Let me go over. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's got a good connection. Let me ping 10.10.10.10. See what happens. It worked. Success. There's no problem reaching it. So we did. Let's take a look at our commands compared to the answer key. Copy TFTP flash. Yeah, that's what we used. Hit enter. Address of file name, and that was right here, that file, and that's what they used. C2960 land-based K9MZ 150-2SE4 bin. So let's try that again. Push that in there. Hit enter. Source file name. Oh wait. Oh, I messed up. Okay, hold on. Got to try that again. Copy TFTP flash, remote host. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, and then source file name. Let's see if we can't paste that still. Yep. And then hit enter. And destination file name. Yeah, that's the one we chose. That's the file name we chose. And for me, it keeps telling me error opening, no such file name. So I don't know what the problem is. I'm going to have to spend some time walking through this and digging around, try to see if I can't figure out the problem. So hopefully you'll have more luck with this lab than I did, at least at the end. Everything else, oh, we still got a little more to do. Uh-oh, I thought that was the end. It's just asking us to go through and show the flash. So break out of that. And we can do that. We can show flash, but it's not there because it didn't. This is the old file. It didn't make it over. And it says reboot and verify the switch is running the new software version. So really, like the whole point of what I should have accomplished, I wasn't able to this time. So, oh well, a bit of a fail, but I will work on it and try to figure it out, but not during this video, which has gotten too long as it is. So I hope this has at least been somewhat informative. Again, this is lab 6 from the Flackbox free CCNA, Cisco CCNA lab guide download. Highly recommend it. It's fun, a lot of fun to work through these. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next video.